My mother had a business, coal yard, an ice house, a wood yard, and then eventually sold appliances. Her business was Gladys S. Waggoner Coal, ice, and wood.
So where was that located?
That was at Ayr Hill Avenue and between Dominion Road and Mill Street. Mill Street didn't go through, and Dominion was not Dominion, it was Railroad Avenue. And when you got where the station is, it went down a little hill, and that was where Mother's business was, right there.
Okay.
What's there now? The storage place and
Yeah, the storage
rentals
place.
are back there?
Yeah. We weren't that far over. There was a creek that ran between Ayr Hill, Dominion Road and Mill Street.
Okay.
And there was, so we were right at the edge of the creek on this side.
So did you spend much time in your mom's store?
Oh yeah, I was there all the time. I lived down there. I lived in the creek. and Mother was very good about letting me come down and type, which I couldn't really do, but and do the adding machine and eventually I learned how to do some of the things that she had to do. So.
How much was
E.W.
it?
Parker was the original owner of the business, and Mother went to work for him and then bought the business from him after, I think she worked for him about 8 years.
Parker?
And so she actually, I guess, bought the business about must have been around 1932 or 3.
That must have been quite an undertaking in the midst of the Depression.
It was a very brave thing to do, I'll tell you. Well, number one, women didn't work then.
Right.
And a woman didn't go into business at all. I mean, that was just unheard of. And she had to do something. She and my father broke up when I was 9 months old, so she had to do something. And that's what she did. She worked long enough and saved her money to be able to buy Mr. Parker out.
That's incredible.
And he was ready to go to retire. And she was a good businesswoman, I'll tell you. I used to ride believe it or not, the ice truck. I think I knew everybody in Fairfax County at that time. The men who worked for my mother were like my uncles. I mean, they called me small change because I was wee. But they were really wonderful. They were people that you could trust. And they had more patience than Job to put up with a kid like that.
What was the ice truck?
It was like a pickup truck. And I honestly don't remember a whole lot about it, other than it had ice in the back of the truck, and Ray had an ice pick, and he would cut off what they wanted, and then he had ice tongs, and he'd carry it in. At that time, they had refrigerators that had tin on the inside of the part that held the ice, and then he'd take it in and put it in the refrigerator or wherever it is they wanted it to go.
Would this be to businesses and to homes?
Businesses and homes, yeah.
And who was Ray? Just one of the
He was
guys
the
who-
man that worked for my mother for many, many, many years. Ray Breeden was his name.
So were there also trucks for the coal and the
Yeah,
wood?
there. She had a couple of. Well, they weren't dump trucks. I don't even know if they made dump trucks in those days, but they were big trucks, and they had a chute that they would put at the back of the truck, and usually they would just send it right on down into the coal bin of the person's basement if they had one. Otherwise, they just use that chute to bring it down into something that they could carry in.
So do you recall how much ice cost back then?
You could buy 25 cents worth if you wanted to. I mean, it might be a little block about, I don't know, maybe 5 pounds, something like that. I really can't remember. But it was actually, well, of course it was during the Depression, so anything was hard to come up with money. And so 25 cents then would probably be $5 now. So we used to ride around from all over Fairfax County on 25 cents worth of gas, but you can't do that. You can't ride around Vienna on 25 cents worth of gas.
Can't even get 25 cents worth.